Welcome to the James Prime Non-Travel Expense Report tutorial. Let's begin. When you first log into James, you start out on the company dashboard screen. Let's navigate to the expense report screen. To do so, I'm going to click on Time and Expenses. On the left panel, I'm going to click on Expense Reports under Expense. The system will default to the Create Expense Report blue tab area. Down below, I'm going to click on the Create link to the left of the Non-Travel Expense Report, or what we call the Non-Travel Indirect Expense Report. The system will default to the Edit Expense Report blue tab. In the first field, the description field, I'm going to enter in abbreviated description. Press Tab. I'm going to enter a more detailed description. And that's in the detailed field. I'm going to click the Tab button. This field is a travel field, so since I'm in a non-travel expense report, this field is no longer required. Tab again. This field is no longer required for non-travel. Tab. Now I'm going to enter today's date by clicking on the icon to the right. I'm going to start by entering expenses in the top section. For business meals, I'm going to enter $15. The system will remember my last entry. I'm going to hit Tab. I'm going to hit the ellipsis button. I'm going to enter an explanation. Let's call this mid-team meeting lunch. I'm going to click OK. Under license and fees, I'm going to enter $60. I'm going to click the ellipsis button, and I'm going to enter an explanation. I'm going to click OK. Under conferences, I'm going to enter 200, tab, ellipsis button, my explanation or description. Explanation, C-O-P-A, Summit. I'm going to click OK. Next, I will enter $20 for parking. Explanation. And click OK. Now the reason I entered my costs or expenses on the top portion of the screen is because this top portion, I can apply one charge code to all of these lines. So I'm going to do so by clicking the expense distribution button at the top of the screen. Click the down arrow. I'm going to choose my overhead job. Now, employees are either on-site or off-site. Off-site employees would use the overhead job. On-site employees will use the G&A job. On rare occasions, will an employee have both jobs available. In the percentage field, I'm going to enter 100. Tab and click OK. The expense distribution button is now green, which means that I have distributed my cost to this job that's in this menu. The expense distribution is now green, which means I have applied a charge code to these costs in this section. Next, I'm going to enter costs and expenses into the bottom portion of the expense form. This bottom portion is called Categories Requiring Line Distribution. I'm going to start by entering a tuition reimbursement amount of $1,300. Click the elliptical button and put my explanation. And let's put a course. I'll put a course number. number, and I will put an amount for my course materials. Put $100, and let's say I have a lab. I will put $200 so that the total is $1,300. Click the OK button. Now this bottom section is a little different. I need to apply my charge code to this specific line. So I need to click this button off to the left to do that. So I click on the Distribute Category button and I choose my tuition reimbursement charge code. Enter 100 into the percent field and click the OK button. Now I've applied a specific job to this line. Next, I'm going to enter $10 into office supplies. And I'm going to put my explanation. Let's say desk calendar. Purchased a desk calendar. Click OK. Now I'm going to click the Distribute Category button off to the left, and I'm going to choose office supplies. Put 100 to the percentage field and click OK. So now I have applied my office supplies job to this particular line. Next, I'm going to save my report, but I want you to notice that there is no attachment button here. Once I save it, the attachment button appears. Next, I'm going to click on the attachment button, and I want to choose a file. So I'm going to click Choose File, and I'm going to attach all my receipts and all of my backup documentation for my coursework and conference that I've created into one PDF file. So I click that file, click Open, and then I put my description. Hit Tab, click the Upload button, and now my PDF file is now appearing at the bottom portion of the screen, which means that it is now been uploaded to JAMUS. I'm going to close the screen. And then you will notice the attachment button is now green. Next, I'm going to click the Distribution Summary button so that you can see what my distributions look like on this particular form. So it shows my charge codes for the expenses on the top section, and then it also shows my charge codes for the bottom section. Close. Next, I can click the Print button. I can print out a report showing my distribution, my charge codes, and it'll also show my explanations. So I'm going to get out of this screen. I'm going to close it. I'm going to save. And then I'm going to go out of this screen and go back to the company dashboard screen. Now I'm going to go back into the report, so I'm going to show you how to get that report back. Let's say I wasn't ready to submit it yet. I wasn't sure if I had more expenses. So I'm going to go back in, click Expense Reports. And instead of clicking on any items on this particular tab, I'm going to go to the Edit Expense Report tab. I'm going to click the down arrow here, and I'm going to find my expense report. And there it is. Now that I'm ready to submit, I'm going to click the Submit Report button at the bottom of the screen. You will notice at the top of the screen the message stating that I have successfully submitted my expense report. Once I submitted my expense report, an email is triggered to my approver to let them know that I have an expense report that is ready for them to review and to approve. And if I want to know who my approver is, I can click the Approver Information button and I can see who my approver is on that screen. Close. I can also delete my expense report by clicking the Delete button even after I have submitted my report. This concludes the JAMIS non-travel expense report tutorial.